Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Techstrong Unplugged. I'm your host, Natan Solomon, and this is episode 26 of our series. In this episode, we're taking you to ViewConf 2024. At ViewConf, our co-host Cassandra Chin met up with Aileen Lecuona, a passionate software developer and advocate for women in tech. Cassandra and Aileen discussed the challenges of organizing meetups, the importance of building a supportive environment for learning, and the impact of these communities on fostering diversity in tech. Without further ado, let's head over to ViewConf 2024.
Welcome back to Techstrong Unplugged. My name is Cassandra Chin, and today we have Aileen. Hi, nice to be here with you, Cassandra. Yeah, can you introduce yourself? Sure. So my name is Aileen. Basically, I'm from Mexico. Been a software developer for a while now, and yeah, I'm really interested in tech in community. I think it's really great. You said you're how did you get interested in technology? Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting story. It goes back to I first wanted to be a doctor, so I tried, but I felt it wasn't my thing. And then I just wanted to do things. I'm a very curious person, and so I think okay, maybe I want to be an ambassador. And I started, but I just didn't feel like I could do more, right? And so when I decided to finally study engineering, I focused mostly industrial when I learned a little about R programming for the machines. And so while I was studying, I met a friend who was into computer science, and he taught me a little about how he was learning Java at the time, what he was doing. And that really got me really interesting because since I was young, I was really always with a computer at the house. But just using it, right? I never thought I could build a career upon that. And yeah, basically I said, okay, this looks interesting. And I continue and I finished my engineering in industrial. But on the side, I started an internship in a factory, and I just didn't feel the click. But I got an internship in computer science. And so that's how I started. I started in a consultant company back in my city. And yeah, from that day on, I've been building software. You said you were involved in the women in tech community? Yeah. So in my city, there was this amazing community called Women Who Code that unfortunately this year got closed because of sponsorship. I think that was my first approach also to a community that was built by women. I also gave a talk. It was 2019 before COVID, a local in my city. And I was really pumped to see even with COVID, they were every month creating a meetup online. So Google also has a program called Women Tech Makers, and I decided to apply. And I got in, and with other friends that I got back in my city, we were building meetups every month to try to create this environment so women can feel safe. I'm also part of GDG in my city. So we're very engaged and diverse. We are 3 women, 3 men. So it's everyone with different backgrounds. So I think we provide a diverse environment for everybody that wants to go there and learn. So what's the topic of the meetups? It depends. So we make a call, hey, do you have something? We also need to reach companies so we can have a space to have the meetup, because after COVID, I think people want to meet. People want to know each other. Most of the meetups and the communities with COVID died in my city, and we wanted to rebuild that community. And I think it's very important to have it on site so you can get to interact and network with people. So our first approach is we need a space. So we go to companies, hey, we are this community, we have this many people. Would you be able to host a meetup for us? Okay. So they sometimes provide their own speakers, hey, I want to talk about something that we're building. And so it may be varied. We are an open space, an open mic for anybody wants to talk about something. So there's always this call for either a company to talk about their products, invite everybody, or just a company that offers the space, and we can look for anybody to fill that space. So we're really open to any technology that is related to computer science. Do you go to these meetups once a month? Yes, we host them once a month. We have host them. We're making like small ones every month, but we have like special seasons where we actually go big and bring people from around the world to speak, because I think we need to foster that community locally, but it's interesting that they can know that there's a huge community out there. So that's why we also make sometimes big events for international folks.
I think it's a really great program to kind of extend it a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's open. You can just find that community in your city if it's available. But yeah, I think people, it's interesting in learning, not outside of school, outside sometimes from the internet. Of course, there's a lot of resources, but I think that the fact that you can network with people, that is like a big plus.
Do you make friends at meetups?
Yeah, I think so. I got friends at work, and I sometimes like, hey, let's go to a meetup. So I think that way, because it may be hard. I think if you go to a meetup and you don't know anybody, it might be hard to, get to talk to people. So I usually, as I'm an organizer, I just try to reach people. Hey, where do you come from? What are you doing? Where do you work? Or there could be students. We have a very big audience. So sometimes there's students, sometimes there are people that's been in the industry for 30 years. And so for your question, as if I have friends, I think I take my people from work, my organizers. I think we're friends already since we struggle with, getting budget, getting everything. So I think you build really interesting relationships.
I'm surprised you get students to come to the meetups.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's a lot of work, but I think it pays off when people are always waiting, like, hey, when's the next meetup? What is it going to be about? So it pays off to see people actually reaching out because they want those meetups.
You said you also do consulting.
Yeah, so I have a couple of years experience working as a software developer. I've done consultant companies. I've worked at product companies too. And I think it's, in this industry, we have a lot of languages, a lot of frameworks, and it's hard to know which one to take or which one is the best one. I think there's no best. I think it's sometimes we feel that there's something new and we need to learn it, and I think that's good. But sometimes the industry, the business is going to ask you for another thing, something that's been in the market for years. And so when I got into consultant companies, I got the feeling of different things, like very old Java, very new. At that time, it was Angular, the first version. It was magic for me because there was only jQuery back then. And seeing the evolution of the JavaScript community, that it got big because of the community. All of the frameworks that we see today, it's people just thinking, hey, I think I can do it better. I think that we could fix some stuff. So being in a consultant company has helped me try different projects. But also, I've worked with product companies, and it's amazing to feel how a product can reach people, you can provide new features. You listen to the customer. You actually see if it's useful. So I think there's no good or wrong. I think it's what do you feel? What do you like to do? Do you like to work in a variety of projects? Maybe for a year, maybe less, or you want to see how your product grow across time, because there are products that have been in the market for 20, 30 years, and there's always something to improve. So I guess being in a consultant company has helped me look at different perspectives of it.
Do you enjoy this job, or are there like other jobs you have done before which you also enjoy?
I enjoy my job, and I enjoy just building things. But sometimes, one thing is the job, and one thing is I want to build something cool from my side. Like, I want to try that technology, and then you build something from scratch. So I like to take the time to come to conferences, speak about a project, a small project I did outside of work that's nothing related to work. Because sometimes you could find a company that empowers you to build things like, hey, this contest of innovation, let's build stuff. So you can have like a hack week to build amazing things. But some companies don't have it, and that's okay, right? I mean, I think
what do you want to do? Is it just building software for a company, or if you want to also build software that could later turn into a project? Many people that build small projects later have companies based on that. So I think I like both. I like working in my company, but I also like doing things on the side. What kind of small projects do you build? So I got really interested with machine learning and AI. So I just started like how hard it is, because I come from a JavaScript background, right? I'm not a data scientist, and I wanted to know how can I get into that world. And there's amazing people already creating books about how not transition because just at least build things from the JavaScript perspective. And so what things I built are small demos, like trying models, like detecting objects kind of thing, or building an agent. And those kinds of projects are the ones that I try. In some companies I've participated in, created innovative projects, like we built something that could be, it could generate images and help marketing teams. So yeah, those kinds of things. Do you have a favorite project? I think the marketing one, it was really interesting to hear that people needed a tool because it was a very scattered team and they needed a tool so everybody could interact and could make like a follow-up of all the things that were happening. So I like it because I also got to choose the technology of how to build it to go faster. Can you describe more about how the tool actually works? Sure. So it was basically, it's a problem actually I found. So you might have Asana or you might have Jira or whatever, but they are licensed. So they charge you for each of the license. So if you have a team of 100, you'll need to pay that license for 100 people. So the companies usually don't pay that much and they just give certain licenses to certain people. But what that does is it creates not an agile environment because there's no place for people to see things. So some people have the access, some people don't have the access, and they needed to see what's globally happening. And they have links on SharePoint and they have links on Google Sheets. So there's a lot of places. And what this tool did was, okay, we will no longer need to pay it. Let's build it. We have subwords. Let's build them. So it worked like any other license product. But the thing is that we were going to build it locally. So we wouldn't have to worry about paying the licenses of them. So you're kind of overcoming a price barrier? Yeah, it was basically that, right? Are there any topics or things which you want to talk about? No, I'm just really pumped to be here in ViewConf. Have you been to ViewConf before? This is my first time, and also my first time in New Orleans. But yeah, I think since last year I started speaking at conferences. This is something really new to me too. Do you enjoy speaking? You know, the work that it takes when I'm doing it, it feels like, okay, this is a lot of work. Why do I do it? But then at the end, when people approach and ask questions and tell you, wow, I didn't know you could do that. That's the feeling after the conference that you say, yes, okay, that's why I do it. But then the previous days and then that's why I like, why do I do this? But I think it's not about me being on stage. It's about sharing what I know. Like, hey, I know this. I know how to show it. And just tell like, hey, if I can do it, you can also do it. So it's really the feeling after, like, when people come talk to you, you know you've made an impact on those people. Exactly, because it's very difficult also to make a video and share what you're doing. And you just get comments, and that's good. But when you get people approach, that's another kind of thing that it's really rewarding. And if people recognize you because you've been doing stuff, I myself go for people that I've seen that have impacted my career. I go and tell them, hey, thank you. Because of you, I learned those things. Because I think it works both ways. There's people that invest a lot of their time creating content, teaching people, and it benefits us. I feel very I hope I can bring that same benefit that I've received from other people. And I think even for the people who approach you, it takes a lot of courage to talk. For me to approach people, it's also hard. So I believe it's the same thing, right? Where for people approach to ask questions. And we've had a really good talk today. Yeah. Thank you, Aileen.